going on, guys? It is June 11th. Huh, interesting. June 11th, 2026, 12:49. Sipping on that. Shit's good as hell. Black Rifle. I think the guy was like some woke conservative guy who like made it, but I don't give a shit. It's really good fucking coffee. Today's topic, we're going to talk about children. This is something that as I turn 25 this year. I'm 24 right now. And society seems to put parenthood as this major achievement, this major like sort of milestone achievement, like big ass trophy. And I think I sort of do naturally just have contrarian elements within me since I was a child. And look, I had two loving parents. It's not like I came from an abusive household or some shit. Like, no, I had a regular fucking childhood in suburbs, right? Grew up lower middle class. It's fine. Or I guess you could argue upper. But middle class, nonetheless, right? Normal fucking childhood. Whole 9 yards. Fantastic parents. I love my parents. But I have an issue with us as a society holding parenthood to such a high regard in the same way that I hold having pride in achievements that require little to no effort to achieve. This is my same issue. I have nothing against homosexuals. I kind of agree with the majority position where, yeah, we don't really care if you're gay, just keep the children out of it. I think that's the most rational, logical sort of way to go about homosexuality. It's like, yeah, I don't care what you do in the bedroom, just, keep the kids out of it. I think that's a fair position. The only reason I mention that is because it's my same criticism with the LGBT community, where it's like they have Pride Month, right? We're coming up on is June Pride Month? I don't even know. I think it is. I don't like when we as a society put pride in things that require no or little effort. And I think parenthood is up there. It's like, okay, anybody can bust a nut inside a woman and reproduce. That requires little to no effort. And I know, like, raising a child, that does require a lot of effort. So the raising part, sure. But it's not anything crazy. It's like, how many mediocre people reproduce, right? Like, how many people who haven't contributed great inventions, great innovations, have created great art, had children. It's a very low bar to set, and I think we as a society, we should hold to a higher regard what you provide to society, what you provide to your community, what you provide to your local people first, before you even reproduce. It's like, how have you rolled the ball forward for your kin, your community, and then obviously, to your state, nation, yada yada, and then the world. It's like we should value people who who give their all in an art, who give their all in a cause, who give their all in creating something of real value, of inspiration, something that inspires, that motivates, you know? And it seems to me that the older I get, and with my choice to not have children, it seems like I'm looked at as a villain, or I'm looked at as this sort of, I think it's called a protagonist, right? The person who goes against the main character. Like the villain. It's like, you will naturally be villainized for not going with the status quo of not having children, whether it be by your own family. You know, they'll jab at you and all that. They'll probably do it in like a lighthearted way, but like your other family members and shit. And I kind of see it as a way to, kind of like when you're in a cult and everyone's wearing the robe, or like when you're in church, right? And some churches will like have you kneel and go along with what the preacher is saying. Or when you stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and you just choose not to, you go against it. Because it's like, what the fuck should we even be proud of? Like, what is this nation? I live in America. It's like, what do we even stand for? What even are we? And I see the same thing with parenthood, where it's like, oh, you know, we took this mediocre path. Like, oh, why don't you take this mediocre path then? It's almost like they have this subconscious trigger when they see someone who didn't conform to the status quo, who didn't conform to normalcy. And there's something almost inside of them that it kind of hurts or pains them to see someone fully delve in an art, in a craft, in a pursuit. Whether it be the arts, the crafts, politics, whatever. Because I think subconsciously they know that their children, I'm not saying this all the time, there's definitely been great people who have provided enormous value to society who have had children, obviously. That's an obvious. But I think on average, like for the average guy, I think they lacked purpose, they lacked meaning, they lacked purpose in their life. And so they took the easy way out, and having children gave them that purpose. And you can make the argument that, yeah, biologically, that probably is our main purpose, right? To reproduce. That's why it feels so good to put your dick in a vagina. Because biologically, we're incentivized to reproduce. But if you go against that, it's the same way, and this is going to be a little crazy to say, but there are other carnal things that we're biologically wired and or incentivized to do, but it takes a higher mind, a more intelligent mind, to sort of say, I'm going to go against my original programming. I kind of use the phone example, right? Like an iPhone or Android will have its standard operating system, but when you don't have children and you pursue your goal, your vision, your dream, you're downloading a different operating system. You're no longer on Windows. You're like on Linux. You're on Ubuntu or something, a different one. You've jailbroken the system in a way because you're not succumbing to that biological incentive, primary motivator of the human condition. And if you're in a similar boat to me, where you're childless and you're not really looking to reproduce, and you value other things before that, of course you're going to be looked at differently by society. Of course you're going to be hated and disparaged against, because they're operating on Windows. And you could do great shit on Windows, but you're also limited with that operating system because of the fact that you have children and you have a family and you have a wife you have to listen to. But when you don't have those things, you don't have those balls and chains, you are more free in a sense. You do have more time for yourself. You can be more selfish. You can put your interests firstly and at the forefront of your life. And so my message to the childless, my message to the dreamers, the aspirationists, is don't let these people shame you. You will come across the shame. You will come across the mockery. You have to tune them out. You have to love them. I'm not saying you have to hate them. You have to love them and understand that the reason they're coming at you like that is because subconsciously, I think they fear what could have been. They fear what could have been if they went all in on their dream. They have that sort of, what is it called when you, FOMO. They have this FOMO, and they succumbed to the easy way to give them purpose, and the biological one that's innate to a human, to us, to the human condition. And so you shouldn't hate them for it, but you should understand where it's coming from and why they're going to behave like that towards you. Because it's inevitable. You will face them. They're going to be your own family. They're going to be probably your friends. You have to love them and tune them out and just soldier on. And the shitty part is that it's going to be hard. You're going to be a black sheep amongst them, because a lot of their life will revolve around their children and the activities they do with other parents. So what you have to do is you have to find your kin. You have to find, and that's the purpose of this channel too. I'm trying to find other like-minded people in order to be able to, form my community and have that camaraderie. But yeah.